Doug, I'd really like to thank you for joining us today. Doug is from Full View Door, and Doug, I'll have you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, my name is Doug Sequeira. I'm the senior director for Full View Door Company. It's a new brand that we launched to showcase these wide open spaces, full view doors, more of a bifold type door than sectional overhead, and really excited to talk about it today.
So, what kind of doors does Full View Company have, and how are they different from other doors in the market?
Yeah, so the doors that we have, they're more of an upward acting bifold type door. So it's more of a folding action than what you'd see in a sectional roll up door. So what you have is a bigger clear span. You can do larger doors. You can do more of an overlay on top. Whereas in the regular garage door space, you're limited on what you can do as far as weight and size. And also you have a nice clear open space on the inside of the garage. So when you compare it to a regular garage door, you don't have the overhead door tracks that you have to worry about. You don't have the motor that you have to worry about. So you can really provide a nice, clean, open space inside the garage to match the outside of the house.
Now, are these just for garage doors? Because it seems like in a lot of the different floor plans, elevations that I've seen lately, we're actually seeing these used for an inside out situation. Are you seeing them actually used in residential spaces other than garages?
Yes, so we see them used in both spaces, residential and commercial. They're gaining a lot of popularity for residential use, not only for a garage door space, but also for a living space. So we see them a lot in studios, living rooms where you want to open it up out to the back. And then also commercial space. What's really hot right now is restaurants. So, of course, with COVID and everything going on, it really opens up the whole side of the restaurant. You get more airflow coming in. So it really provides a nice look, something different, opens everything up. And then you get into the more of the industrial commercial side of things, airplane hangar doors, convention center spaces, that kind of thing. They're really versatile, could be used in a lot of different ways.
I mean, that's just pretty amazing because it seems like we are seeing more people who want to have the inside out feeling. They're trying to maximize their space. This seems like a great opportunity. So, what are the models that are best for residential applications?
Yeah, so there's a couple of models that work really well for residential. What you want to keep in mind in residential is since it is an upward acting bifold door, you want a door that doesn't take a lot of your headspace. So some of the more traditional bifold doors will encroach maybe about 24 inches down from your headspace. But we also have our Lux reverse fold that only comes down about 8 inches into your headroom space, which is ideal for residential. Also, our canopy tilt up door is a one piece tilt up door. And again, only hangs down about 8 inches from your header space. So if you had a typical 8 high opening, you can still use it for getting most cars in and out. You don't have to worry about it. And then for that residential space too, once you have your counterweight assembly installed, everything can be concealed and wrapped. So once you pull inside the garage, everything is nice and clean and open, and you can design the inside of the garage space just like you would the rest of your house.
That's amazing. So, if we were to use these for a residential situation for a living area, is it possible to screen them?
Yes. So you can also have screens, and they're also hurricane rated screens too. So if you're in an area that has wind load requirements, you can do screens there as well. And the other nice thing on the residential side, we can also do overlays on the face of them too. So one thing we're seeing right now that's really popular is more of a flush mount application. So you have the exterior of the home, the garage door, they want to be flush mount with the rest of the wall. So we can do our canopy tilt up side the front of the door to match the rest of the house, and it's seamless all the way across and just tilts up, opens up, and blends right in.
That sounds beautiful. So, what's the first step in choosing a door from Full View Door Company?
So first step is you really want to think about function and what you're looking for your space. So like I mentioned on the residential side, one thing to keep in mind is what you're going to be using that space for. If it's going to be primarily used for a garage, you want to make sure that the door you pick will allow the vehicle you have to go in and out without encroaching too much on that space. So that's why we really like to promote the reverse fold and the canopy tilt up for a residential application. And then once you go into more of the commercial space, things to keep in mind are do you need a door that doesn't encroach on the interior of the structure? So if you have a restaurant application, you may not want a door that sticks into the inside of the restaurant. You may want to keep everything exterior. Also air curtain, if you have a supermarket, a conditioned space, a restaurant, people coming in and out, and you need to install an air curtain behind, there's another door for that too that doesn't encroach on the inside, so you can have that air curtain coming down. It's the air curtain, it's more of to kind of keep insects out. So if you have a constant air curtain in, you get fewer insects coming in and out for a door that's going to be open quite a bit. And as far as more of the commercial side too, restaurant side, hospitality, if you want a door that kind of creates a canopy overhead to create shade, then we have doors designed for that as well. So when they're up, during business hours,
Mhm.
it creates another design element, creates some shade for outside seating, and those work well too. So the first thing you want to think of is just what's that space going to be used for, and that kind of helps you direct which model to choose instead of picking a model, then try and design your project around that model.
Okay. So you've shown us a lot of examples. I mean, there's just been some beautiful shots of some of the products that you offer. Can these doors be customized, or they only come in a standard way with a few options?
Yes, nice thing about the doors, they can be customized, and it's kind of sky's the limit. So standard door will have glass, so it's full view glass. You can see in and out. You can customize it by doing different types of glass. You can do overlays on the front if you wanted half of it to be glass, the other half to be wood or metal, some other kind of design feature, rock, stone. We can do that as well. We can even do LED glass. So if you want to
Oh
use it
my
more of a
gosh.
showcase for advertisement, you can do that as well. Or more of an artistic direction where you want the LED glass to display certain colors, certain times of the day, you can do that as well. So what's really nice about these doors is since they are operated by counterweights, you're not worried about a certain torsion spring up above. You're not worried about the door being too wide and getting flex in your section like you would with a regular garage door. You can really do almost anything you want with these. It's just limited by your imagination.
That's fantastic because all of the designs that we see now just seem like they get a little farther and farther out there. People using their imaginations. It's everybody wants something that their neighbor doesn't have. So it seems like an incredible opportunity. Approximately, what is a lead time for a full view door?
Approximate lead time for a full view door is we're running about 10 to 12 weeks right now. And that will be from the start of actually having the signed architectural drawings. So the clock doesn't start ticking until we have everything signed off, everything spec'd out and detailed, just because you don't want a small detail to kind of delay production down the road. So we do provide detailed architectural drawings for sign off. That way, everything's spec'd on there. We have the weights down. And we can't do those till we actually have the finished opening. So once we have all that, we can generate the drawings and get everything in the queue.
And as we look at installation on these products, what's your recommendation as far as installation, installer requirements? What's out there on that side of it?
Yeah, so since these doors are typically larger, you want to make sure it is installed by a licensed installing dealer. That way, they have all the equipment, they have the insurance necessary for it, and they're capable of doing the work and making sure it's put in right. So it is a large space. The doors typically are installed without the glass or the overlay, so everything can kind of scoot it into place, get everything lined up, and once it's dialed in, that's when the overlay goes on. So you really want to make sure somebody knows what they're doing when they're putting it in. That way, it's ease of operation. You don't have callbacks and less headache.
That sounds fantastic because I know in dealing with other products, the bigger they get, the heavier they get. So it sounds like being able to add all those, the glass, the overlay after the fact is going to make that a lighter product just for movement.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, and it's less damage. I mean, some of these doors, since they have all the glass, you don't have to worry about the door swaying a little bit or somebody, scratching a piece of glass and having to replace it later. It's just a lot cleaner to install it without. You put everything in, it's dialed in, ready to go.
And when I think of like, if I think of a garage door, and you said it earlier that it's a very different mechanism for how these operate. Um, is there any special knowledge that really you talk about, authorized installer? Is there any special knowledge that someone would have to have as far as framing these out along with that installation?
No, so what's really nice about these is these doors actually fold in the opening. So as long as you have your finished opening size and everything's nice and plumb and straight, you're good to go. Most of the load, it's not carried at the header like some bifold doors are. It's more of the jambs and the force is driving straight down. which is nice. So you don't have to worry about a lot of torque on your header. Even with regular sectional garage doors, everything attaches to your header and your springs are attached to the header. You have a lot of pull there. But what's nice about these, you get them installed, your counterweights are in, and your weight really doesn't change a whole lot. So once everything's dialed in, there's really not a whole lot of moving parts, that you have to worry about breaking over time. You just check your cables, make sure your cables are good, and then your weight stack's good. As long as you're not adding weight or taking it away, it should be dialed in, ready to go.
And am I assuming that these are motorized
They
or
can be. Most of the doors, once you get into larger sizes, we definitely recommend them to be motorized. Some smaller doors, you can operate them manually. And what's nice about the motor is it does mount to the shaft, and that can be rotated up vertically, so that way it can be concealed as well. So once the door is installed, you can rotate, if your headroom allows, you can rotate your motor up vertically in case your counterweight stacks, and you just have a nice, clean, finished garage.
say that sounds great. One of the places that I've seen similar products, I'm telling tales of myself, but are wineries. They seem like right now they are a hot market for us across the country. It used to be that just California was wine country, and now we're seeing it across the entire United States. It seems like that would be an excellent opportunity for you.
Oh yeah, definitely wineries and even tasting rooms too. A
Mhm.
lot of times you'll have the winery, they do tastings at the winery, and then they may have another tasting room in a more heavily populated area. More of like a little shopping center, and you can do these doors as well. It's something that again it opens up the whole room, so it kind of attracts people in. It is a bit of a showpiece too, so it kind of gets that draw for people coming in and out. And again, with last year with COVID, you have this nice big open space and it's just something different. People love seeing something different when they're walking by on the street. It's something that draws their eye to that business, and it's definitely a standout, and it performs well too.
This sounds amazing. I cannot wait for our first project that we can go photograph and get some examples of this. I'm very excited about it because I know I said California across the country. I never thought that I would see the day that, Minneapolis or Iowa or any of those areas would be doing big, huge, types of doors. But it seems like it's an overarching product line across the country. So very excited to see all of our entities of BMD being able to offer this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very exciting, and we're seeing it a lot more too. Again, I think people are always looking for something different, and especially on a lot of these signature products, it's what can they put on that project that's definitely going to stand out from the previous project and what other people are doing. So the way we're doing doors now, I mean, it's a lot of residential, a lot of commercial spaces, and it's just kind of really taken off. So we're excited as well.
Well, I thank you so much for your time, Doug. I really appreciate it.